Hey, good morning, guys. I want to talk to you today about debt settlements. Right after the recession and up until a few years ago, we used to do a lot of work with people who were either looking for loss mitigation to short sell a house, get a loan modification, settle unsecured credit card debts, stuff like that. Then things got a little bit better and home values went up and spending went up and jobs came back and all those different things. And we're starting to see a lot more clients now with debts again. People who have $10,000 to $20,000 on credit cards, and in a lot of cases, it's actually quite a bit more. And I help people with that kind of thing from time to time. Usually, I take about 20 or 30 cases on each year. In the recent case here, we had a client that had about $32,000 in credit card debts. And if you know anything about the way unsecured debt repayment works, is a credit card or an unsecured line of credit will typically require you to pay 5% of the balance back each month as a minimum monthly payment. So in other words, if you owe $30,000, you're probably paying $1,500 a month in total credit card bills or total bills to these unsecured debts. It's a lot of money. It's like a house payment, right? So what are your options? A lot of people get to the point where, hey, I can't come up with the extra $30,000. I don't work for commission. I don't get bonuses. How do I pay this off? How do I get ahead of my income now and then pay it off? One big option a lot of people look at is Chapter 13 or Chapter 7 bankruptcy. It's not the best option. Sometimes it's your only option, but there are alternatives. Okay. With a bankruptcy, they'll eliminate the debt, but then it'll also hurt your credit for a long period of time, and you might have trouble getting new credit when you actually need it to buy a house or to buy a car or something like that. So looking at some creative alternatives might help. I've had some clients basically take the money that they were paying to the debts, knowing that they couldn't do this forever, and put it into a separate bank account and save it up, okay? And as their credit goes into default, the creditor starts selling that debt to third-party collection agencies. Within 3 to 6 to 9 months, these collection agencies are ready to settle for pennies on the dollar. If you do this right, it could work, right? So if I'm paying $1,500 a month, I put my money aside for 9 months, I end up with somewhere in the neighborhood of $13,000, $14,000. I settle the $30,000 for, let's say, 40 cents on the dollar. That's 12 grand. I'm actually coming out ahead. And now, inside of a year, I'm completely out of debt. Now, my credit scores went down during that time, but what happens when I'm out of debt? And I kept paying my house on time and I kept paying my car on time. Does my credit go back up? In most cases, our clients are getting credit scores higher than what they had before they did their debt settlements. So I would think that if someone is considering a bankruptcy, considering trying to do a debt consolidation loan and the equity just wasn't there or they weren't able to find those options, then maybe looking into a debt settlement strategy could help. I'm not advocating not paying bills. I'm not advocating going into defaults purposely or not talking to your creditor or anything like that. But what I am telling you, there are options that when someone is in that situation, they have gone into default and they do have money put aside, that they could make the settlements work for them. Any questions on that, any advice, call me anytime. 586-615-2868. And good luck. Thank you.